What's going on, everyone? Welcome into the Cleveland Browns Report by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here, breaking down the latest Browns news and rumors, and we've got a ton of ground to cover on the show today, right? After D'Ernest Johnson signed his deal with the Browns, there was some speculation of a Kareem Hunt trade coming up, so we'll unpack all that. Plus, we'll spend the second half of the show looking at the latest Deshaun Watson news, so stay tuned for that. But first up, we're going to get to the D'Ernest Johnson side of things here because he signed a one-year, $2.4 million deal with the Browns with a little under $1 million of that guaranteed, a restricted free agent that it always felt like Andrew Berry and Johnson's rep, who we changed to Drew Rosenhaus, we were going to figure out some kind of contract, and we saw the tender get placed earlier this offseason, so it wasn't like breaking news, but we get some more details on this. But we also do get a bit of a heartbeat to the whatever club out there is beating the drum of could we trade Kareem Hunt. I don't like that idea. I've spoken about this before, but the Browns do have a lot of running backs on their roster. And it's getting tough to envision a world where they all make the roster. You have Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, and D'Ernest Johnson. Assume all of them are still on the roster, right? No one gets traded there. They're all locks. Then you have Demetric Felton, who, is he about to get cut after just one season? Where I liked him last year. Was he everything you would have hoped for? No. But for a 6th-round pick, he showed some good flashes, right? Jerome Ford, 5th-round pick this year. He's a lock. John Kelly, he's going to be a practice squad. So ignore him. Stanton, your fullback, it looks like he's a practice squad 2 guy now all of a sudden. I think of those 5 legit running backs, I want to believe, and maybe I'm being naive, all 5 make the roster. But maybe not. So if you're in charge, what would you do with Kareem Hunt? If you want to keep him, like the video. If you want to trade him, type T for trade and let me know why down below in the comments. For me, I would only trade Kareem Hunt if I got a day 2 pick back, a 2nd or a 3rd round pick. We're going to look at some recent running back trades that have gone down in history not too long ago to get a good reference point of what a trade could look like. But Kareem Hunt's going to be 27 by week 1. He's entering the final year of his contract. He's got a $6.2 million cap hit for this season. Only a base salary of $1.3 million, which means if a team were to trade for him, they wouldn't be taking on a 6.2. They'd be taking on something closer to 1.3. So very easy to trade and move on from him. But why I don't really see the need to want to move on from Kareem Hunt, only if you're trying to get some draft capital back, and it better be a great pick, because the thunder and lightning duo between Hunt and Chubb since Kareem Hunt came over from Kansas City, it's been the best running back tandem in the NFL. What Nick Chubb lacks, Kareem Hunt has, right? Kareem Hunt offers you a ton of options in the air. He's got 763 receiving yards. He's got 6 receiving touchdowns in 32 games since coming over. And he's had some injuries here and there. But we all know Nick Chubb is the bell cow back, right? He takes a bulk of the carries. He gets the lion's share of handoffs. But he hasn't offered you a ton in the receiving department. So with those two guys the way they complement one another, why would you want to break that up? Now, the Browns are a little short draft capital for next season. They got some picks back. Remember, they moved back in the 2022 draft with the Texans, for example. So they got a comp pick for Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah going over to the Vikings. So they've got 8 picks altogether, but ultimately they don't pick until round 2. Now, maybe Andrew Berry wants to regain some of that draft capital. Don't break the band up, okay? This is an awesome offense. There is a lot to be excited about for what this Browns offense can do in 2022. Why would you trade away one of your best playmakers when you're ready to win now? I just don't see the full logic behind doing it. I see a little bit of you want to get a pick back because you lost so much for Watson. He's 27, entering the last year of his deal. He was injured last year. You like D'Ernest Johnson. Confidence in maybe Jerome Ford or Demetric Felton picking up the slack a little bit. But if I had to trade one of those 2 running backs, I would trade Johnson and receive less picks, right? I would receive a less valuable draft pick. I'd rather keep Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt has shown you he is a explosive, dynamic running back that on majority of the other NFL teams, he would be an RB1. It's just because Nick Chubb's on the roster, he's not an RB1, so his stats don't look maybe as pretty as they could if he was. And we'll look at some trade destinations on a team like the Patriots, for example. Before we look at some trade destinations, pick a running back to trade for me. Would you rather trade Kareem Hunt for a third-round pick? If so, put 27. Or would you rather trade Dearness Johnson for a sixth-round pick, right? You're going to get more for Hunt, but you're giving up more. So put the jersey number for the player you would rather trade down below in the comment section. The reason why I landed on a third and a sixth is I looked at some recent running back trades. Remember when Sony Michel got dealt to the Rams last year after Cam Akers ruptured his Achilles? Well, he went for a fourth and a sixth. First round pick that's been pretty disappointing for New England. Then you go back a year prior, or year two, and it's Matt Breida going from the 49ers to the Dolphins. Breida went for a fifth round pick. And of course, most recent running back trade for the Browns would be Duke Johnson, okay? He goes to the Texans, which, by the way, bring Bill O'Brien back. Bill O'Brien gave up a third-round pick. I don't know if he just got a hard-on for guys named Johnson that play running back, but he gave up a third for Duke Johnson, and he traded DeAndre Hopkins away for David Johnson. He gave up a third for Duke Johnson, who in his last season with the Browns in 2018, before being moved, 201 rushing yards, 429 receiving yards, and only 3 touchdowns. I wish there were more GMs out there like Bill O'Brien that could get fleeced for giving up a third-round pick for a guy who barely eclipsed 200 rushing yards. Now, here are 5 trade destinations maybe Kareem Hunt or Dearness Johnson end up at. I could see the Patriots with Mac Jones trying to give him some more firepower to work with after being a little disappointing in the rushing department last year, kind of going back by committee approach. Now the Chiefs, you just got the sense that they are looking at their time span right now and going, we are so stacked right now, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire is just not looking like the first-round pick we thought he would be. Why don't we bring Kareem Hunt back and kind of shake hands and move on from the departure they had? The Eagles, they rushed the ball a ton last year. Miles Sanders, he probably isn't a certified RB1 right now. The Bucs, I could see that, right, with Brady at the last year or 1 or 2 more years left in Tampa Bay, and then the Cardinals as well, just to try to help Kyler Murray out here. We've got more coverage coming your way in just a moment, but I want to tell everyone watching about a new feature that YouTube has introduced. It's called a Super Thanks. So if you miss our live shows, which by the way are every single Thursday at 4 Eastern, and you want to donate to the show to help out my dog's toy foundation or whatever it may be, you can click the thanks icon. It is like right over here. It's got that heart sign with the dollar sign in the middle of it. Super thanks. You get a shout out on the show. You can ask a question. Chuck Taylor, Nick Justice, Repulsive Gravity, all frequent and recent super thanksers here on the channel. So shout out to all of you guys. But if you want to get on the show, guaranteed spot, super thanks. Greatly appreciate all the donations we receive here at the Browns Report. All right, coming up next, though, we got the latest Deshaun Watson news because his attorney, Rusty, put his foot in his mouth, and it sounds like, according to his attorney, a decision is coming soon. So we're going to break all that down and more in just a second. But first, if you want free daily Browns content, make sure you subscribe because here at the Browns Report, we're closing in on 10,000 subscribers, 800 and change away, trying to get there by July 4th. So help me achieve this goal. If you also want to get free content, seems like a pretty good deal to me. We'll shake hands when you hit that big red button and subscribe. On to the Watson side of the story. He is reportedly facing a 24th sexual misconduct civil lawsuit. Added the 23rd last week, and number 24 followed suit. Now, a report came out that the NFL's decision is coming soon. We've seen the word soon tossed around a couple times now. I don't know what soon is in the NFL's dictionary. To me, soon is less than a week. I've heard soon for about 3 weeks now, okay? Remember, the NFL met with Deshaun Watson 2 weeks ago, and that felt like that would be the final step of their investigation, and it's kind of dragged on since. But with more cases added, could this extend a decision even more? I'm not really sure, honestly. Deshaun Watson's attorney, we'll look at the quotes. If you haven't seen them already, it's not helpful, that's for sure. But USA Today, before we started the video, put an interesting tweet out I think everyone should see, saying Deshaun Watson's lead counsel believes there's a good possibility the NFL will make a decision he won't like, but calls it a hell of a detailed investigation by the league. So, a decision Deshaun Watson won't like would make you think bad things, right? Would make you think a year or too long suspension, the Trevor Bauer approach. But remember, Rusty Hardin, the attorney for Deshaun Watson, is adamant that Deshaun Watson should receive 0 suspension. So, in his eyes, it's something he doesn't like, a 2, a 3, a 4-game suspension, potentially. Now, here's what Rusty Hardin said on a Houston radio show over the weekend. I don't know how many men are out there now that have had a massage that perhaps occasionally there was a happy ending. Maybe there's nobody in your listening audience that ever happened to. I do want to point out, if that has happened, it's not a crime. Unless you are paying somebody extra or so to give you some kind of sexual activity, it's not a crime. Rusty, why would you bring that up? Like, that is, you're the attorney, right? You're the one that's supposed to tell Deshaun Watson not to say dumb, somewhat incriminating things. What do you think was going to happen, right? Did you think the NFL front office and the investigation would go, oh my God, did you guys hear? It's not illegal. All right, we'll drop the whole thing. It's over now. Now, Rusty tried to backtrack this a little bit and put a statement out later. Well, here's what he said. On a Houston radio show interview today, I mentioned that a massage has a happy ending is not illegal, meaning it is not illegal for someone to have consensual sex with a therapist after a massage unless the sex is for pay. Deshaun did not pay anyone for sex. I was using the term hypothetically and not describing Deshaun's case. It's just a dumb thing to say right there, okay? Deshaun Watson's case has not revolved around him denying any sexual allegations. Is that they have been consensual. But when you say happy ending, it doesn't always sound super consensual, right? To me, this is starting to feel like a little warmer and closer to a 1-year suspension. And I don't like to say that because I want to have the Browns achieve the utmost possible success in 2022, and that's with Deshaun Watson on the field and not Jacoby Brissett. But to me, there's already been some murmurs and rumors and wind blowing of a 1-year suspension coming down, and I'm starting to get warmer and warmer to it, right? It's like hot and cold. I'm starting to hear hotter when we're getting closer to a 1-year possible suspension. But I'll end the show with this question. Predict it for me. If Deshaun Watson is suspended, if he is, how long will it be for? 4, 6, 8 games, a season? I would say if a suspension comes, my Vegas prediction would be 6 games. A little bit more than 4. I don't think the NFL is going to throw a full year at him because maybe they look at him sitting out last year as kind of time served, right? Does the NFL really want one of their best quarterbacks sitting out for 2 straight seasons? That's not good for business. And they're a business before anything else. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. That way you stay in the know on the latest Deshaun Watson news, Browns trade rumors, whatever it may be. Hit that big red button, subscribe, and join us for our live shows. There are Thursdays at 4 Eastern. We talk about the latest stuff, plus we do live Q&A and live interaction, so it's a ton of fun. Make sure you join us over there. That's going to do it for us on the show. I'll see you guys later with more Browns news and rumors.